Hello everybody, this is Debo at Debo's Movie Reviews here, and today I'll be reviewing Snatch, directed by Guy Ritchie, starring Jason Statham as Turkish, Alan Ford as Bricktop, Lenny James as Saul, Ede as Tyrone, Brad Pitt as Mickey, Stephen Graham as Tommy, Ray Sherbeja as Boris Blade, along with Dan Farina as Cousin Abby, Vinnie Jones as Bullet-Tooth Tony, and Benicio del Toro as Frankie Four Fingers. I gotta say, probably one of the two out of the best Guy Ritchie movies, and I gotta say, Guy Ritchie is one of those directors that's not good unless he's got his people in him. Mainly being Jason Statham, because I'll say his best movies I had Jason Statham in them, being like this one, Snatch, Lock, Stock, Two Smoking Barrels, Wrath of Man. A few others I can't might be able to name, but like Operation Fortune, but I have to get to that on another review. But I do gotta say, Snatch, definitely one of the greatest intros to British gangster movies I've ever seen. Probably one of the best British gangster movies. I mean, yeah, and pretty much first one I saw and one of the best ones. Which, hey, I like films, especially gangster films and all. This one's a regular one on one of the best ones from just like the assortment of characters all over a diamond, and then how from a which started in the beginning of the movie where Frankie Four Fingers and a few guys robbed a store in Antwerp, and then of course with Stephen Graham and Statham as boxing promoters trying to replace a fighter after Mickey killed their original guy in a fight. And of course trying to get him to play ball because he's supposed to go down in the fourth, which of course doesn't happen. Which is weird with Alan Ford playing as Bricktop. Oof, ever one of the most underrated villains in movie history. I mean, just from the speech about the pig farm and the whole thing about and how's and the fact that he movie looked like Jimmy Carter dressed up as Austin Powers, talking about pig farms, and of course he got the excellent gunplay from like when Saul and Vinny trying to rob the betting shop, and then the woman goes, "All bets are off," and we're closed, and blah blah, and of course, it's a little funnier when the dude drops this gun, and I mean, talking about the Spaz 12, and then the girl tries to fire shots at him, and then of course, one where they run over Frankie Four Fingers and then wrap a tea cozy around his head, and then of course he got Bullet-Proof Tony, which I gotta say is pretty much one of the best roles Vinnie Jones has ever done. And I gotta say, Vinnie Jones is an underrated actor. I mean, I mean, I mean, to the point that he's the British Bruce Campbell. I'll say this much. And hell, and as Bulletproof Tony, that was probably one of the best roles. All I do say, the only flaw was, and I do say, mention spoiler alert, was that his character died instead of getting eventually after like getting one, a flashback where he's getting out with an Asian gangster, and not sure if it guy was either Yakuza or Triad, but yeah, at the name and then by how tough he was, only get done in by a stray bullet by his boss, which is great performance by Dennis Farina as Cousin Abby, and I mean, it was a role that introduced me to him, and great acting for a for a guy who was a cop before he was an actor. And of course, Brad Pitt in one of his breakout roles, which I'm going to say after Fight Club, which is the second movie where he did a movie about fighting, except this time around he played a real person. By that I mean not a figment of somebody's imagination. Fight Club, which I have to get back to that on another video, but yeah. And even though funnier scenes with lines like "you like dags," and even funnier with, of course, "listen to Madonna," of course, which I mean her music's cringe, but Guy Ritchie was married to her. And I do gotta admit, he'd lose mojo as a director after that with stinkers like Rock and Rolla. The Sherlock movies don't count because I'm going to say those studio had creative control over those, because since Guy Ritchie is one of those directors who's got to have his people, and they didn't have his people on that one. But enough about that. But Snatch, I mean, oof. Yeah, I was mentioning how tough Bulletproof Tony was. I mean, about like Boris the Blade, or as they call him, Boris the Bullet Dodger. I mean, just funny. Even from one scene where he grabs old dude's junk just to shut him up after selling a junky gun. And of course, he sells more Frank before betraying him, and of course that whole mishap, and of course after, and of course Bricktop and his people getting theirs. But overall, I'm giving Snatch a definite 5 out of 5. I mean, probably one of the greatest British gangster movies ever made, if not the greatest. I mean, oof. What more can I say? Alright, y'all, that'll do it for this week. I hope y'all like, subscribe, and enjoy, and I'll keep dishing them out.